Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody.
We are going to get started here in just a couple minutes. We're playing around with a new broadcast system, so just give us a second. If you guys can hear us, just give us a thumbs up or a yes or I need more coffee or something in the comments, and we will get started here shortly. Awesome. Thanks, Eric. Thanks, Luke. Luke, how are you, buddy? Thanks for joining. Eric, good to see you this morning. Hope everything's going well in Austin. Steven, you're asking the hard questions, man. We're going to find out here in about 4 minutes and 30-something seconds, but I think it's safe to assume that DJI's got the corner on the enterprise market, so we'll have to see what they do to expand that out and get better, But that's a tough question. We're going to find out here in just a second. We'll probably be flipping the camera live so you can see my ugly mug for a minute, and then we'll see what happens. right, guys. Down to the minute here. Eric, what are your guesses? What do you think we're going to see? You're the pro here. Seconds. Let's see. All right, guys, let's see what we got here. Oh, they're not quite ready for us yet. We'll go back. We'll give them a second. It's a Thursday morning. It's early. You know, Eric, that's probably a good guess. I think, you know, DJI, they're the big dog right now, right? So you look at the Matrice 200 series and you wonder what else they could do. So a lot of people are asking about the Mavic Pro, the Mavic Pro 3, the Mavic 3, whatever you want to do, but we'll have to see. Morning, Big John. Good to see you, man. Appreciate you joining. We're giving the website a second here to update. And I'll just flat out tell you, if they don't do it, I'll do it, because we're going to have ours up here in just a second. So, and don't worry, you'll see my beautiful face once this is done. Don't you worry yourselves. If you guys are computer nerds like me, I'm just F5ing like a mother. So we're going to see what happens here. I'll tell you what, I'll get ours ready to go. What do you guys think? Should we launch it for them? I don't know if we're allowed to do that. I mean, it's 7:02, right? We should be able to do that. Brad says, yeah, you can't see him, but he's here. We'll give it another couple minutes here, and then we'll just unveil it. You know, we got to do what we got to do, guys. For those of you guys just joining, we are essentially just F5ing, which is a refresh for those of you that are not computer nerds, and we're just waiting for DJI to unveil it on their website. 7 a.m. was the time. I imagine time differences and lack of coffee, which I'm projecting a little bit there, but lack of coffee might play into that. But we'll we'll continue doing this, and then obviously we'll give it a couple more minutes, and if that doesn't work, then we're gonna launch it for him, because we're here, you guys are here. I appreciate everybody joining, and we might as well show you guys something cool. Eric says launch, so I don't know, Eric. I mean, you used an emoji and everything. You guys over there in Austin, just so you guys know, Eric is with Drone Sense, Mr. Eric Shank. If you guys don't know Drone Sense, be sure to reach out. See some more people joining. So good morning, everybody. I'm Chris with UVT. You can't see me yet. Don't worry, you will. It's nothing special. It's early. I haven't had coffee yet. Got a late start, but we appreciate you guys coming on. So DJI's got a big announcement today: the future of work, the enterprise flagship, the what do they call it? The cyber workhorse. So we don't really know what it's going to be just yet, but we are basically just babysitting DJI's website right now. And oh, I see an update. Let's see what we have here. And there she is. The Matrice 300 RTK, everybody. So I got to give a couple points. Who we had? We had Steven and we had Eric call it. Now you didn't say RTK, so I'm just gonna, I'm all about giving credit where credit is due. But you were 3 letters off, and I admire that about you guys. So the M300 RTK is here, everybody. So the Matrice 300 series right now just made up of the RTK. I'm assuming that may be our only one. It is the new standard for the drone industry, commercial industry specifically, obviously. And let me get scrolling here. So a couple things to note about the Matrice 300 RTK is it is RTK, though you are not required to operate in RTK. It's a quadcopter platform, 21-inch propellers, all kinds of really cool stuff. Very Matrice 600 Pro-like for those of you guys that have ever flown an M600. Super long flight time, 55-minute maximum flight time. Now, DJI, if you're watching this, I'm sorry, but you're probably not going to get 55 minutes out of it because that's with no payload. And one of the best-selling, or sort of the most innovative things about the M300 RTK is its triple payload capability. So with 3 payloads on there, you're not going to get 55 minutes. But these batteries, the TB60 battery, it's brand new TB60 battery. It is a 12-cell battery. It's got about 5,500, 5,600 milliamp hour. It's just, they're 2 massive batteries, and it does do the dual battery, just like the Matrice 200 series. It also has a brand new improved transmission system called OcuSync Enterprise. It'll go 15 kilometers. Those of you in the United States, that's a little over 9 miles, about 9.3 to be exact. And it has triple channel video as well as real-time auto switching for your frequencies. So you've got 2.4, you've got 5.8. All of those will switch in real time, no problem there at all. That way if you're operating, let's say we start flying here, a little bit of a, I'm gonna call it a suburban area, not urban, but a suburban area. If we were to fly over the hill here to the east, we're gonna be in pretty rural. So maybe 5.8 gigahertz is less congested over there. 2.4 is cleaner over here. And it's able to automatically switch between those frequencies. Like I said, 55-minute flight time, you're gonna get feasibly probably between 40 and 45 in the most common configurations. There she is with the H20T. And I'll tell you what, let's just, I think we might have something here for you guys. 1 second. Changing up our view here. 1 second, everybody. Bear with me. Well, good morning. We got the camera up here. So the Matrice 300 is out. It's awesome looking through the website and everything, but I think you guys would rather just see it. I think. Me personally would rather see it. So give me just a second. What do you know? There she is in all her glory. The Matrice 300 RTK. Well, this configuration here is in the single downward configuration. Like I was saying earlier, it does have triple payload capability. This bracket on the front here is a single hard-mounted bracket that can be swapped out for a dual bracket. On top of that, literally, you can have an upward-facing gimbal. So you could have, let's say you've got an H20T, which is one of the brand new H20 series payloads that's available. It is a hybrid sensor, which DJI is using to call their, it's a triple sensor technically, or maybe even a quadruple because it has a laser rangefinder, depending on how you define what a sensor is. But it does have thermal RGB, and the RGB spectrum is zoom as well as visual. So that's this guy right here. And then I think we've got it on the other camera there, which we'll zoom in on. So that's the H20 right there. Let me drag this up here. Just changing around the camera views, 1 second. There we go. Drew, can you pan that camera down a little bit on Instagram? It's cropping it, I think. We're gonna pan that camera down and see if you guys on Instagram can see that a little bit better. The square ratio on Instagram is not helping us, so we're gonna try to get that fixed for you. So there she is, the H20, H20T, and the Matrice 300. So the Matrice 300, as you'll notice here on all sides, which I think you can see that, just yell at me on Instagram or anywhere else that you need to. We're all watching the comments here if you can't see something. We're live streaming on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram right now, so we're just kind of, we're battling some stuff. So this is the Matrice 300 RTK. You'll notice here on the front, that Instagram shot's looking good, thank you, Drew. On the front here, you've got your FPV camera, as well as 2 infrared sensors. They are also called TOF sensors, or time of flight sensors. And so that's basically sending out a beam every so often at whatever interval they set it at, and it's recording its beam coming back into that camera. So you're able to actually determine your depth and all of that. And so you're also able to do that on the sides here. And again, bear with me, there's gonna be a little bit of a delay here. We're drone people, not celebrities like some others. So there's that, so you can kind of see, sorry, I'm trying to line it up there. So we've got sensors on all sides. And then it also, like I was saying earlier, has a dual battery system. So on the back side here, this is where your batteries are gonna go. I'm trying to keep it in frame. Just like I said, literally yell at me if you guys can't see it. We got one Vladimir Goforth monitoring Facebook. We got Brad on Facebook. So feel free to comment. You guys will get some answers in there if you have any questions. So here is the dual battery system. So like I was saying before, you've got 2 battery slots, TB60s, which are these honkers right here. So this is your TB60 battery. That's 1 single battery. Do we have, Flag, can you grab a TB55? We'll do a quick size comparison for you guys. But here's a TB60. So the TB60 does slide in from the back, just like the Matrice 200 series. One really interesting thing. Thank you very much. So here's a quick size comparison for you guys. I think you'll be able to see this, everybody. I'm not sure, but there's the TB60 versus the TB55. As you can see there, quite a serious size difference, if I say so myself. So similar to the 200 series, the batteries do mount from the back, just like this. One thing, and I'll just call it funky, hopefully that's not considered a negative, it is a little bit different in that there's no physical locking mechanism, if you will. So you're not able to get that positive click. You don't hear a latch go or anything like that when you mount it in there. However, they do have a bracket on the back right there. See, he adjusted on Instagram there. Thank you, Drew. So you do have a bracket on the back there. So that bracket literally, it physically holds those 2 batteries in. One really neat thing, and I learned this spending some time flying this thing over the last week or so, there is a sensor integrated somewhere in there into that little locking mechanism that will indicate, hey, it's not in its proper position. Whether maybe you got a little cattywampus, maybe you didn't latch it at all, you completely forgot, it's not part of your pre-flight. Whatever the case may be, it'll actually warn you in the app, and it physically will not allow you to take off until that latch is there. Now, the other cool thing about the Matrice 300 RTK and its TB60 power system is that it does have hot-swappable batteries. So you're able to literally pull out one of these. I'm doing this backwards here. So you're able to flip your battery latch forward like that, or vertical, I should say, like that. Imagine the aircraft is on. You're able to remove one battery. This battery is dead. You're going to go charge it, no problem. Aircraft is still powered on because it has that dual battery system. And then you put in your new battery over here, swap your other one, put it back in. Aircraft hasn't powered off. The remote hasn't powered off. We'll get to the remote in a second because that's also new. Everything is still powered up. Long missions, if you're doing transmission and utility inspections, transmission distribution inspections, or even just a long, large surveying mission over a construction site, mapping site, agriculture, whatever it might be, however you decide to put this thing to use, it is a tool after all. It's going to find use there, especially in those long missions where you need to be able to swap batteries and you don't want to have to power cycle everything or do anything like that. I'm going to pan down just a little bit on camera 2 there. Sorry guys, we'll adjust there a little bit. Perfect. And so now I'm going to adjust down here real quick. 1 second guys. I'm going to change your camera up there. There's a little bit of a delay, so I'll give it a second. So we're now live on camera 1 here. You'll be able to see everything in all its glory, hopefully. If you guys on Instagram are having a hard time seeing anything, by the way, just jump over to Facebook. Facebook's a little bit better with that 16:9 widescreen ratio. You can also go to our YouTube channel, whatever you want to do, but just literally scream mad face or hard eyes. I mean, whatever, you know, however you feel about us, please do that. We appreciate it. Coffee emojis. I don't have any coffee here physically, but I would appreciate coffee emojis. I just got the cheers sign from the cameraman there. So as I was saying, dual battery system. If you guys couldn't see it before, I'll do it on the big camera here now that we're live. TB50 on it's your left. That's your left. That's my right. On your left is a TB55. On your right is a TB60. So quite a serious size comparison. If you guys, I'm just showing this again in case you guys weren't able to see this. For those of you guys just joining, I saw a bunch of people just jumped on Facebook. This is the Matrice 300 RTK, brand new industrial drone from DJI. We've had it for about a week and a half or so, putting some flight hours on it. It is truly an impressive aircraft. I think that they've done a really good job of keeping it relatively small and portable, which we'll talk about in a second. These arms here, just to show you an example, these arms do fold in, so you're able to collapse it down. There's a cool little animation on the website, as well as hopefully our website here soon as well. So it's relatively portable. This is not a quick deploy aircraft by any means. This is not designed to, if you guys, let's say you have a Mavic 2 Enterprise, Mavic 2 Enterprise Dual, and you're wondering, crap, why did I buy all of these? I could just buy this thing. That's not a fair comparison. It's not fair to this guy, nor is it fair to the Mavic 2 Enterprise or the Enterprise Dual. This is not a quick deploy unit. This is not something you're gonna have in your cruiser, out in your inspectors, your linemen's trucks, for example, and you're just gonna throw it out of the truck and deploy. It's gonna be a bit of a longer process. But still super easy. The legs pop in. There's collars on either side right here, which I think you can see pretty well. I'll angle it that way. You're able to put those collars on right there. You're able to lock the landing legs in. Super quick, very similar to the Matrice 200 series. However, these seem a little bit more robust. Plus, let me switch down to camera 2 here, 1 second. So we're on camera 2 now, just to zoom in. And Drew, you want to pan down just a smidge? Perfect, thank you. So down here, you've got a locking mechanism right here on your collar. So you lock that gear in right there, and you're locked in. And then if you want to unlock it, you simply do that and pull that collar down. So relatively similar. Okay, thanks. We're just checking camera angles here. We've got, I think, two different cameras and a mic. So like I said, I'm no celebrity, but anyway, so you've got a locking mechanism there, similar to the 200 series. One thing I want to point out, the reason for the tighter shot, is this bracket right here. You can kind of see where my index finger is. There are 4 screws on both sides. You're actually able to, DJI has not told me that this is user serviceable, but it's gonna have to be user serviceable as compared to like the Matrice 200 series where you had just those 2 screws right there. Definitely not as good of an interface. This does seem a little bit more modular, if you will. So you can pop those off, similar to, let me see if I can line this up here. Similar interface on, there we go. Oh, look at that, I'm crushing it this morning. So right here, where's my hand? This one? Nope. This one? That one? Nope. Sorry, there's a delay. There we go, crushed it. Right there. So here's your arm mount, right? So you've got screw mounts on top. If you compare that to the Matrice 200 series, for those of you guys that operate that, there's no visible mounting points. There's no, which some people, it's probably a good thing, but in this case, this is still an IP45 rated aircraft, so it can still operate in harsh environments. However, it does seem to be a bit more modular and designed for those that are actually out there using the aircraft, meaning this arm, you know, you've got a new guy, or maybe he's large and lumbering around, it's the end of a Friday, he's been inspecting miles of line, and he closes his car door and hits this thing on the way in, or he runs it over. I'm not going to call it any names, but there's a police department in Central Arkansas that is known for running over aircraft. I think I saw him join earlier, so please don't draw your weapon the next time you see me, but things happen, okay? We understand that these are tools, they're out in the wild being used. So that's just one example of the modularity there. And then I will, since we have some other people joining here, I'll turn this back around so you can see the rear view of it. So that is the rear there of the aircraft. Now you'll also notice, just like on the other 5 sides, on the rear here you've got 2 optical sensors. These are lower resolution, true low-res cameras. And then in the middle you have infrared sensors, or TOF sensors. I believe that's right. If any of you guys are out there and want to correct me, please go ahead. But so TOF is time of flight. So in short, they're infrared sensors. They're basically constantly sending out beams to scan the area. And then in the app that runs on the new controller, which I know I told you I'd get to earlier, and it's now later, and I haven't gotten there yet, but I will. I'll show you that interface on there. We'll put some videos out there, but it's constantly scanning the area. It's very radar-like in the interface with the HUD system that's there. So there's sensors back here, and then if I can, I will show you the top here. Let's see. I've legit been crushing it with this, so I think I'm just waiting for the feed to catch up here, guys, so I can make sure that I'm talking at you. There we go. All right, so on the top of this aircraft, you've got auxiliary lighting, which are these 2 guys right here. You'll see those 2 LEDs right there. You have 2 infrared sensors in the middle, and then you have 2 more of those lower res, I say lower res, not to say anything bad about it, but you've got 2 optical sensors on the top here, so they're constantly looking up for you. You don't have to take any action whatsoever. They're on all the time. Those auxiliary lights, which are these 2, again, these 2 outer LEDs right here, those are either, you can control those as to be automatic, which it'll use its ambient light sensors and determine, hey, this environment's really dark. We don't have an upward-facing payload for this yet, so there's a chance that maybe when that upward-facing payload is on there, it'll have some intelligence in there. I'm just sort of shooting off the cuff there. I have no idea if that's true, but you are able to actually set those to auto, turn them on manually, or obviously turn them off manually, and then it's going to be probably difficult to flip it over, but the exact same setup that you see here is on the bottom of the aircraft as well. For those of you that have the Matrice 200 series, you'll notice, right there, nailed it. That's the upward-facing collision avoidance beacon. Same identical, I'm assuming it's identical to the one that's on the Matrice 200 series, so similar interface there. It is visible from 3 statute miles away. And then on the bottom of the aircraft, again, it's hard to flip it over, but you're also going to see that there. And I know we were seeing a lot of stuff on Facebook with those leaked photos. How dare you leak the photos? But people were talking about all the vents on the top. How can that thing be IP45 rated, whatever? We have no idea. We're not engineers, but it is IP45 rated, and it does have an impressive number of vents. We had this thing out yesterday, and it was relatively cool here in Fayetteville. It's probably 70, I believe, but you could actually hear those fans kicking on and running. I'm trying to get this lined up here for you so we can talk about the gimbal. Again, for those of you guys just joining us, this is the new DJI Enterprise Matrice 300 RTK. I'll talk about the RTK piece, and yes, for those of you remote controller fans out there, I will get to that here in just a second. So the camera down here, let's see. Hey, Drew, can you pan camera 2 down just like a hair? Waiting for Instagram to update there, but that should be good. Okay, we're panning that camera down, guys. Let's see if we're good. We're on probably about a 5-second delay, so you're just gonna have to look at my neck. Crushed it. Drew's on it. That's the H20. If you guys need to hide the chat, I think you can swipe one way or the other Instagram. Like I said, I am not a social guru, but anyway, this is the H20T. There are 2 versions of this payload in the H20 series, which was rolled out at the same time as the Matrice 300 RTK, similar to how they came out with the TB60. They also came out with the H20T and H20. This is the H20T. That T means what? I'm just pausing so you guys have time to comment because there's a delay and I'm not gonna make you wait. T stands for thermal. Nailed it. Whoever, I don't know who's gonna say it, but maybe if you don't have a lag on YouTube and you win, you don't get a prize, but thanks for coming by. So this is the H20T, it has thermal. It also has, oops, let's see here. There we go. Okay, just trying to get my orientation. You have a zoom RGB camera, RGB, red, green, blue. If you don't know what RGB means, it's basically a visual spectrum camera. Imagine you pull out your iPhone and you're taking a picture of your family. That's an RGB camera. That's a visual spectrum camera. That is what this lens does here. However, the reason it's so much larger, and I'm assuming there's going to be some mechanical action in their lenses, is because this does have a 23x, 23 times optical zoom. Optical meaning it's completely lossless. It is a physical lens, if you will. Those photographer guys out there are probably cringing because I'm murdering that, but it doesn't matter because it is an optical zoom and it's 23x killer. And then up here in the top, right there, I think, is that it? Am I doing it? Yeah, that's it. I'm doing it. Look at me, Mom. No hands. That's a wide RGB lens. It is fixed so that it's completely flat. There's no lens moving inside of there. You're not going to go 1x, 2x. That's a wide view lens. It's very, very similar to the FPV camera, which you can't see on your screen right now, but it is, the FPV camera is built into the top frame of the aircraft. That wide lens is designed to give you a very, very wide, sort of an omniscient view of your scene. You can always go to that wide camera and always see that scene. You don't have to worry about, oh, what time zoom am I in? How many times am I zoomed in at 20x? Because we all know that if you've been flying these things for a minute and you got a Z30 that is zoomed out to 30x, 20x, whatever, and you look away for a second and you try to come back, it's nearly impossible. So a lot of our customers, the majority of our customers are public safety. You want to be able to see that wide view of the scene if it's an active shooter, mass casualty, disaster response, whatever it might be. You want to be able to see that immediate wide view of the screen, and that's what that wide camera is for. Now, for those of you that crushed it and said thermal, Eric Shank won. Nobody else Eric, well done, man. You guys at Drone Sense, you really know your stuff. That's fantastic. Way to go. I'm gonna email you later with an emoji of my choosing. So on this side is the thermal. So as Eric Shank said, he crushed it. That's the thermal sensor. So it is a 640 by 512, 30 hertz. So 640 by 512 is your resolution. That in this industry, and really in thermal in general, that is considered a high resolution thermal sensor. So it does have high res thermal on this side, and it is 30 hertz, which is the refresh rate. So just think 30 frames per second, basically, if you guys can think in FPS. There are some other cameras like the XT2, which we have right here. In a second. Let's see if I can. You guys want to see me smash together about $30,000 worth of gimbals? Hold on one second. Instagram, don't worry, it's gonna update. I'm lagging behind, but check this crap out. Drew, can you pan that camera to my right, your left, just a smidge? Nailed it right there, perfect. Cool, so you've got an XT2 down here on the bench. This is your XT2 right here, and you have an H20T up here. A couple things about this new H20T, and really the H20 series in general, but the H20T, it's a 13.5 millimeter lens. That's it. As of right now, it just launched today. Everybody calm down. I don't know. Maybe we're going to have a 19 millimeter. Maybe we're going to have a 9 millimeter. With the XT2, as most of you guys know, down in the 336 range, which is that lower resolution, this is only available in 640. The H20T is only available in 640 currently. In the XT2, you had so many choices that we found a lot of agencies were just overwhelmed. They didn't know exactly what they were looking for. They didn't know what to buy. The part numbers were confusing. There's a lot of bad information already floating around in the UAS industry, especially on social media. So just know that the H20T, when you order this, as long as you're getting that T, which, as Eric Shank pointed out, was thermal, fire emoji, fire emoji. That is going to be a 640 by 512, 30 hertz, 30 frames per second camera with a 13.5 millimeter lens. That's the only available model right now. 13.5 is a great focal length. 13 millimeter is the most common focal length of the XT2, for example, where you can get those multiple lenses. So I think they did the right thing. If nothing else, the credit that we can give them is that there's fewer options out there. So when you go to order an H20T, you're great. Now, one cool thing is the XT2 is indeed compatible with the Matrice 300 RTK. So if you already have an XT2, you do not have to worry. You can use that camera fully, no problem at all. It will mount up. So it's got this same, the 2.0 gimbal connector here. I'm not gonna be able to walk straight after this because I'm all backwards. That gimbal connector there is the same exact gimbal connector that you have on the H20T and the H20. It is compatible, ready to go. The H20 series is only compatible with the Matrice 300. There's so much technology packed in these hybrid sensors that I just don't think there's any way to make it backwards compatible, unfortunately. But the good news is, for those of you guys that have an XT2 already, you're able to just take that camera and use it on these aircrafts, if you choose. So I mentioned the controller a couple times. Here she is. Let's see if I can, if I break something, you guys have to record this and you have to put it on social media to shame me. Okay. Good. Back this guy on a little bit. And actually, I'll tell you what, let's go to camera. 1 second, guys, I'm gonna change up the camera here. Let's see. There we go, okay. So we are now on that camera. Here we go. I'll let everybody sync up for just a second. So, Matrice 300 RTK from DJI Enterprise, for those of you just joining, brand new aircraft. It sets the new standard for industrial drone, as they say, and that's marketing spiel, but it's true. It really is. It does things that no other aircraft could do right now, especially off the shelf, that you could literally just call us right now. We don't have them in stock, but please do call and order one. We just can't ship it immediately. They're coming soon. But you can call up, order it, receive it, open it, fly it, and it will do all this stuff off the shelf. There's just no other aircraft, no other solution like it right now in the market. So, the remote controller, you guys recognize this. We all know, that's a smart controller. Why are you pointing this at us? We've already seen it. It's a little bit different. It does have what they call a smart controller extension box on the back here. So you'll notice here, there's a smart controller extension box, and look at that, I come prepared. It'll take a WB-37. So a lot of you guys might be upset. OMG, TB60s, you can't use TB55s. I didn't let that cat out of the bag earlier, but there you go. You can't use TB55s. However, you can use WB-37s. And we're seeing a lot of backwards compatibility, interchangeability, if you will. WB-37s also work for the DRTK2 mobile station, for example, which this guy's compatible with. You'll notice the RTK cups back there. That's K-Cups 2.0, the new latest and greatest. WB-37s work with that. They work with the Phantom 4 RTK remote. They work with the Phantom 4 RTK's mobile station, all that kind of stuff. So we are seeing a little bit of continuity there. The fact of the matter is this aircraft is so big with so many features, they just need a bigger battery, plain and simple. So, Smart Controller Enterprise has a Smart Controller extension box on it. It is, I mean, it's not just like, it's not just, you know what I mean? Like check that out. I mean, you can really fling that thing around if you wanted to. It does have a metal handle back there. Cool little carry handle. That's kind of neat, right? That's exciting. And then one interesting thing, and we'll point this out, some how-tos and troubleshootings and Smart Controller Explained videos or whatever later, but you'll notice there is WB-37, there's no USB-C port on the bottom of it. The USB-C port's been moved over here on the left side. There she is. So the USB-C port on this is only used for charging the internal battery. So there is still an internal battery in here. It's the same weight. It's got a good weight to it. So you've got an internal battery as well as your WB-37. They can run, you can put the WB-37 on there and run it with it. You can run it without it. The only limitation is that the internal battery in the smart controller has to have some level of charge before it'll actually power on. So if the Smart Controller Enterprise internal battery is at 0%, for example, your WB-37 won't do you any good and it's not gonna kick on. Hey Brad, can you go turn the AC off? Our AC system here is pretty impressive. I picked it up myself, so I'm gonna turn that thing off. So WB-37 battery is compatible with the Smart Controller Enterprise, still an internal battery. When you're doing firmware updates, just one thing to note, the reason I said the USB-C earlier, is you have to use the USB-A port on the top for updates, communicating with your computers, your smart, whatever you want to do. You have to use that USB-A port. If you plug in down here and try to do updates, I'm not saying that I did this before reading the manuals that DJI was kind enough to give us pre-launch. It's not going to work, and you're going to get angry, and that's why we're here. We don't want you to be angry. So don't use that for updates. Just use it for charging. Use your USB-A port on the top. Tell your guys that if you've got a fleet of drones out there and you've got people managing it, just let them know USB-A only on the top. So we got that covered. RTK. So a little bit about RTK. We'll go into this in more detail later with other videos. RTK stands for real-time kinematic. It's basically GPS on steroids. You can't have RTK without GPS, and you can have GPS without RTK. Just like on the Matrice 200 series. You had the Matrice 210 V2, and you had the Matrice 210 RTK V2. The RTK V2 could be run in GPS only with no RTK, or it could be run in GPS with RTK, and when running on RTK, it had to have the separate DRTK2 mobile station, it has to have a clear view of the sky, etc. I know I'm probably talking fast, but we'll go over it later, and it's good for questions. Speaking of questions, if you guys have any questions, ask away, please. We got people watching. So, RTK, real-time kinematic. You'll notice we're still on the big camera here, yep. K-cups. Up here, not Keurig branded, these are DJI, so they're better. Up here on the top, those are your RTK cups, and then down here, let's see if we can, yep, right there. These guys, those vertical antennas, by the way, this is not upside down. I know a lot of people, when I saw this, I thought it was upside down. This is correct, just before anybody tries to correct me. Antennas are up here. These are your 2.4 and 5.8 gigahertz antennas, part of the IQ-Sync 2.0, or I'm sorry, it is not, that is incorrect. It's part of the IQ-Sync Enterprise communication system, exclusive to the Matrice 300 RTK and the Smart Controller Enterprise. We've got it, deal with it. So these are the 2.4 and 5.8 gigahertz antennas, vertical. The reason they put the propellers on the bottom, other manufacturers, I don't know if you can see it. Should I? Is it rude to give a shout out to their manufacturer? No. This is Dance Court Zoe. They're beautiful, they're amazing. Luke was just on here. Luke, if you're still here, thanks for coming by, buddy. These are bottom-mounted propellers.
Yuri's on here too.
Cool, Yuri, what's up, man? So bottom-mounted propellers. DJI's reasoning, these are 21-inch propellers, by the way, they're monsters. The reason for that is you have all these sensors on the top. I noticed immediately when I flew it, if you're watching the FPV camera, you can see the propellers, they're in view. Imagine if those propellers were top-mounted, for example, you would immediately be obstructing your view of your FPV. They would be likely interfering with your TOF sensors and your optical sensors all the way around there, whether that's light refracting, shadows, whatever it is. So they are a bottom-mounted propeller. It's not upside down. We didn't have to put it together. It came this way. Antennas are up here. So these are your 2.4, 5.8. These are your RTK cups. Now, this aircraft, as of right now, things could change. I haven't checked my email this morning, so maybe they already did. And other dealers are watching, and you're going to shame me in the comments. Still love you guys. Don't worry about it. Will not ship with a DRTK2 mobile station. You do have to buy the DRTK2 mobile station separately, or, this is exciting, if you already have a DRTK2 mobile station with either the Matrice 210 RTK or the Phantom 4 RTK, all you need to do is a firmware update. Yes, you need to update the firmware. Get over it, okay? We have to do it, you have to do it, we'll help you, it's easy, call us, no big deal. You update the firmware of your Phantom 4 RTK, DRTK2 mobile station, or your Matrice 210 RTK V2 DRTK2 mobile station, and it will work with the Matrice 300 RTK. You do not have to buy a special mobile station just for the Matrice 300, but you do need to buy one if you don't have one already. So it will work with that. RTK, basically, for those of you that don't know or that are just joining, on the Matrice 300 RTK, the benefit of RTK is incredibly accurate GPS positioning. I flew this yesterday, just GPS. It was pretty windy. Gusts were about 13, I think, or so. That's what it said. It felt higher because I was flying something expensive and I just always get nervous, even after thousands of hours. It held like a rock. I mean, it was incredibly, dare I say, more stable than the Matrice 200 series. Still love the Matrice 200 series, it's still available. This is just a little bit more fine-tuned, probably because it's a little bit of a heavier aircraft. Max takeoff weight of this thing is 20 pounds, for example. The Matrice 200 series, max takeoff weight's about 14, roughly. If I got that wrong a little bit, it's fine, it's close, it's around that. It's about 14 pounds, so 6 pounds heavier is the max takeoff weight of this guy. That probably has a lot to do with it. Also the 21-inch propellers, larger motors, bottom mount, maybe the bottom mount affected a little bit, I'm not entirely sure yet. With RTK, it's gonna be even more accurate, and especially for you guys in utilities. I know Ozarks Electric, you were supposed to join us, shout out, how you guys doing? For you guys operating near power lines, whether that's transmission or distribution, it's going to be natively EMI resistant. So if you do want to just have that RTK2 mobile station in your toolbox, in your repertoire, whatever you want, it'll help out a lot when you're operating near those lines. And like I said, you can operate with or without it. You could go out on one mission, you could do a transmission inspection right here in our parking lot. You don't need it, not a big deal, just one small single phase line. And then you could literally go out in South Fayetteville, Greenland area, fly over the transmission lines there, power up your RTK, you're going to be going longer distance, etc. Speaking of longer distance flights, for any legal inquiries, please email legal@uit.us. If you wanted to fly beyond visual line of sight, if you have a waiver for that, whatever, you can have multiple Smart Controller Enterprises. It has what they call advanced dual control. So basically you can have one remote, that's your RPIC. So if I'm RPIC and I've got another guy, I can fly the aircraft down, let's say down a transmission line, and you can actually hand off control, essentially. If you guys fly the Matrice 200 series with dual gimbals, you'll know that you have to request gimbal control. So if I've got two Sendence remotes, for example, just for a size comparison, which you guys already know, but there's a Sendence. So even with that extension box, not that much bigger. If I've got two Sendence remotes on a Matrice 200 series, I have to request gimbal control. That's literally just requesting gimbal control. You can't, the slave remote cannot take control of the aircraft. Good and bad. With the Smart Controller Enterprise, you can do that. You can lock controls, you can take over aircraft control, you can request gimbal control, etc. You will always be able to change that setting. The RPIC can always lock it out, and it has trainer mode as well. So trainer mode's back. Trainer mode went away for a while. It was very upsetting, but it's back now. So you can have trainer mode. I would recommend probably just like a Mavic Mini. Maybe you'll get a free one when you buy one of these from us. I don't know. You'll have to call and ask. But I'd recommend a Mavic Mini because you're still flying an expensive aircraft. It's a different experience. So I highly recommend a smaller aircraft for trainers. However, if you want to get, so let's say somebody graduated out of that Mavic Mini class, the basics class, the intro class, whatever, and you want to get them access, get them stick time on this guy, you can set up trainer mode. Your RPIC, your primary, your master, they are the assistant remote, the slave remote, the trainee. You can always take control. So if they start booking it towards a wall, now remember, this thing will probably stop itself, but you know, it's technology. Maybe it's dark out, whatever, or they're just in sport mode and they didn't know what that meant because they're in trainer mode. You can always take control. You see them booking it towards a wall, you pull back on the stick, you're in control now. They're sweating, they're gonna go back and fly the Mavic Mini and maybe never fly this. I don't know, that's up to you. What else do we have? Do we have the, oh yeah, I put it there so I know. We've got the battery station. So I'm a little all over the place, guys. It's not because of coffee, it's actually because of a lack of coffee. Let me move this over here. So with that TB60, this is probably the last thing we'll let you guys get out of here. We got some more videos coming. Along with the TB60, for those of you guys that weren't here earlier, TB60, TB55. That's enough said. That's all we need to do. Ocean's 11's fan, enough said. Battery station here. Sorry, I'm looking at my camera angles here. Here we go. Drew, can you pan camera 2 down? One sec, guys. I'm gonna move, I'm gonna get this a little bit tighter in here on the battery station real quick. There we go. You would think building a 16-foot long workbench that's 6 feet deep would be big enough, but it never is. So there she is. That is the BS60. Actually, can you pull camera 2 back? Can you can't zoom it out, right? Yeah, if you just want to pull it back a little bit, it's super, super tight. That's good. Just, if you guys are on Instagram and you need to see something better, just holler at me. But, there we go. That should be good. Let's see. There we go. I think we're good. Tell you what. Boom. There she is. So BS60. Okay, BS, battery station, that's what I'm gonna say the acronyms for. I don't know, but it's battery station 60. You have a TB60 here. That's TB60 battery. It's very scientific. Done, it's in. You're charging, it's good to go. The BS60 battery station, much like the TB50 battery station for the Inspire 2 guys, it will charge and it will update. As of right now, and I mean this, I'd have to rip this label off, so I don't know if they're gonna change it or not. No discharging. No storage mode. Now they might do that through the brand new health management system, the HMS. That's part of this whole ecosystem. So the health management system monitors in flight, monitors your aircraft's propulsion systems, your avionics, your gimbals, your vision sensors, etc. It's actually a really cool module. We'll be putting a video out very soon on that. We might do a live. If you guys have any ideas for lives, please comment. If you prefer live over recorded, email us. Emoji us, whatever you need to do. But the health management system is how you communicate with this guy. So you connect your Smart Control Enterprise. Again, for those of you keeping track at home, which USB port would you use to connect your Smart Control Enterprise, I just hinted there, to your BS60? Eric, are you still there? Eric's on a roll. Let's see if Eric answers it correctly. He's on Instagram if you guys are wondering who I'm talking about. You use the USB-A. You got it right. Even if you didn't say it, I know you thought it. You connect your USB-A to your USB-C right here, and you'll boot up the Pilot app. So it's the same interface, same exact process as if you're gonna fly. You'll boot up the Pilot app on the Smart Control Enterprise, load into the HMS. So in the Pilot app, you've got your manual flight, well, I'll do it in your orientation. You've got manual flight, mission flight, and then you'll have album, and you'll have HMS. So it's right on your home screen, your splash screen. You'll connect into that, you'll load HMS, and then you'll see your battery station in there. And again, we'll do a video on this. This is just a high-level overview to kill some time before I pass out from no coffee. So you'll have your HMS system. You can update all your battery firmware. One cool thing is if you have, where's my TB60? 55. Oh, it's right here. Don't worry, I already got it. So you can connect these in any way you want. So I've got one battery here. I would recommend doing them in pairs, but this is just an example. You can connect this one over here, and it will show you here on your heads-up display, which I think you guys can kind of see. We'll do a video. There's a display right here. It'll show you which battery's charging. It'll always start with the highest charged pair first. Now, I don't know if they have pair-enabled charging, pair charging enabled, however you want to word that. Back in the day, so like last year, they talked about having pairing your batteries with your aircraft through the app, and then let's say if this was pair A, even if pair A was here and pair B was here, it would always charge by pair. I don't know if they have that enabled. Just do it that way anyway. The BS60 will start with the highest charged batteries, the most charged batteries, let's put it that way. Word English is tough. So if these are at 50% and you've got your pair B here at 30%, it's going to start with the 50% first to get you back in the air more quickly. And then your W37s are going to go sequentially by charge capacity, charge amount, charge status, whatever you want to call it. Highest charged ones first. Those are BS60s. This will come with a power cord. We're in the United States, so we got a US power cord. Power cord goes there. You're good to go. We'll be doing a video on this. We have an EcoFlow Delta. Shout out to EcoFlow. Awesome product. We're going to do a test with that to see if maybe you could run an EcoFlow Delta, how many batteries you could charge. The TV60s are, like I said, they're monsters. Let's make sure I get this number right. They're 5,935 milliamp hours, but they're 274.2 watt hours. Massive batteries, 12 cell. They are 46.2 volts, nominal. Huge batteries. So we're going to see how many battery charges you can get out of that thing. Maybe you need a Honda E2000. Maybe you already have one. Whatever. That'll probably work just as well. So the Matrice 300 RTK, brand new from DJI. It's going to be on our website soon. It's already on DJI's website soon. If you want pricing, we can't do pricing just right here. Can't regurgitate it, unfortunately. Fortunately and unfortunately, it's good to kind of chat and get to know people before you start offering them that stuff. So give us a call. You can email us at sales@uvt.us. That's sales@uvt.us. If you want to shame me on how terrible I am on camera, my email is chris@uvt.us. Spam me. Give me your feedback. Seriously, all joking aside, we do work mostly with public safety agencies, utility companies, construction companies. These guys are out there. These brave men and women are out there working every day with this stuff. We want to make sure that the information that we give you is the information that you need. I know that I joke around a lot. We try to keep it pretty informal and even keeled, but we know what we're talking about. You guys know what you're doing. Let's work together. So if you guys need pricing, reach out, sales@uvt.us. You can go to our website, check that out. You can call us 479-595-8010. That's 479-595-8010. I feel like I'm on QVC, so that was a weird experience. And we really appreciate you guys coming by. We'll let you guys get on with your day. Check out the website. We're gonna have a blog post come out. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're trying to push YouTube. We hear it's kind of a big deal. Not sure if you guys have ever used it. So we're trying to actually use YouTube like cool people. So please subscribe and literally email me if you have feedback. Tell me how bad I did. Tell me how well I did. Tell us what else we can do. If you'd rather see Vlad, he's the attractive, tall Russian guy. Maybe you'd prefer that. The camera would have to be up here. Maybe you like that because you'll see the Sky Ranger. I don't know. Tell us. No big deal. We appreciate you guys coming by. I'm going to try to disable this live. I've never done this before, so you might see some awkwardness or I might say something silly, but just catch you guys next time. Hit us up if you need us.